What's up, guys? Eli here, back for a horror-based video today. I'm sorry I cannot quench your needs for the metal today. We'll get back to that maybe in a couple days, but it's all about horror today. Got a couple DVDs I picked up lately, couple toys. I know I said I wasn't going to show those anymore, but I think that as long as it's horror-based, I'll still show shit like that. Briefly, but I'll show it. And a couple comic books, horror-based comic books. Everything today is horror-based. Oh, and a couple t-shirts. Some cool horror shirts that I picked up. Made a couple changes in the background, as you can see. I've put up the Heaven and Hell poster that came with the Heaven and Hell vinyl. And this old Psy poster that I've had for a long time with them two from Psy. The Psy logo. But yeah, I don't know why I just did that, but in case you didn't notice. But yeah, let's get started, and I will show you what I picked up. All right, and to get this going, we got a pretty decent stack of movies here. I actually bought several just last night to add to this stack. Not for any reason, just, you know, there's a couple things I wanted. So we're going to start off with a weird choice, kind of. I mean, this isn't out of the realm of shit that I like, but I typically only buy horror movies, but I've been wanting to see this for years since it came out, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. As you guys might know, I've been a comic fan since like probably 1988. Been a Batman fan about that long as well. Saw the Batman '89 movie in the theater with my grandpa. Yeah, I've been a Batman fan a long time. I've seen all the Batman movies ever. I own a lot of them, and never been a big Superman fan. Although I have seen Man of Steel. I thought it was actually pretty good. But yeah, I don't know why it's taken me this long to see it. I still haven't watched it, but at least I have it now. I'm a big fan of Ben Affleck, so yeah, stoked to watch that. Now this one you might recognize. I know not a lot of you watch my horror stuff on here, but you might recognize this movie because I already bought this like a couple of months ago. I picked up the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray. So I found this. This is just the regular, original version, I should say, of Resurrection. Christopher Lambert, director, and also the director of Highlander, which I didn't know. It's a fairly hard to find movie, so I figured, why not? I'll grab this old DVD copy. This is an old rental copy. Obviously, got the block. That's a Blockbuster sticker right there. I actually started to watch this last night, but I was just so tired from work. I fell asleep after like 10 minutes. But it looks to be a pretty gruesome detective story, kind of in the vein of like Seven. So this came out in '99. That would make a lot of sense. It actually even has, I recognize at least one actor in this movie that was also in Seven. So I think that's completely where they were headed. And that's okay. I'm a big fan of Seven. So, oh yeah, if you, I grabbed this just to show you the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray that I bought with the alternate cover art. Yeah, this is actually the version I'm watching. I'm not watching the DVD version, but not that it would matter. So this next one, I don't know anything about this. I literally grabbed it for a couple bucks because I couldn't not grab it for a couple bucks. 2011, we got Camel Spiders. I didn't know Roger Corman was still doing shit as late as 2011. I mean, Roger Corman Presents. I don't know how much of a hand he even had in this, but I don't like spiders at all. I'm sure these will look like, terrible, terrible CGI spiders, but who knows? Yeah, I don't like spiders one fucking bit. Camel spiders. This next one I've actually been wanting for a while. I watched this, God, like 7-8 years ago probably. Never saw it out in the wild. Eventually I was probably going to order a copy. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of this, but we got a Anti-Birth Closivigny. I got this weird version, so look at this shit. Repackaged by Family Video. What the fuck's Family Video? I think it was like a video store chain. Because the DVD itself, IFC Midnight and Scream Factory. But it's got this rental ring, so I guess, yeah. I've never heard of Family Video. I mean, I'm assuming for them to have their own packaging, had to have been a big chain. Because if you go back to like Hollywood Video stuff, pretty sure it was just the fucking Hollywood Video just used the same DVD layout that you would find like in the store. Family Video, I guess, got their own copies. I don't get it. I've never seen that before. I mean, I pretty much grew up in video stores, and I don't. The video stores I went to, I never saw anything like that. So this one I saw in the theater, and I've really been wanting to rewatch it because I haven't seen it ever since. We have the Friday the 13th remake, killer cut. I don't know what was added on to make it a killer cut, but I didn't recognize anything different. But it had been, let's see, Jesus, it had been like 13 years since I've seen it in the theater, 13, 14 years. So yeah, I am a fan of remakes to an extent. I'm at the very least, I'm totally okay with the idea of a remake, so I just wanted to rewatch it. It's pretty good. The guy that plays Jason, he's somebody famous in the horror world. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But yeah, it's pretty good. I think it's a worthy remake. You got the guy, whatever his name is, from Supernatural. He's a pretty good actor. He's a good character in this. Yeah, I'm surprised they never continued on. They made one remake and then they stopped. This was kind of a nice nod to, like, they kind of combined the first two Friday the 13th movies into one for this one, so pretty cool. Another movie that I've wanted to own for years and years and years and just never pulled the trigger for some reason. Saw this in the theater initially when it came out. I was pretty young. Well, I was like a teenager, maybe. I was probably 14 or 15, something like that. Mars Attacks. Not a big Tim Burton fan, but this movie is a lot of fun. I think you all know what Mars Attacks is all about. I won't really go into detail on that. And I literally have not watched it since 96. Holy shit. In 96, I think it was 14 years old. Next, we have another, this is not a remake, actually. This is like a prequel story. Yeah, so we got Leatherface from 2017. I could not remember if I had seen this or not. So if I had seen it and I forgot about it entirely, not a good sign. I'm a big Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, and with this new remake on Netflix that I haven't seen yet, kind of whenever something happens like that, it always makes me want to go rewatch, the whole series. And like I said, couldn't remember if I'd seen this or not, so I went and bought a copy, and it's okay. I'm not going to say too much because I'm actually working on a review of it. I'm going to do an actual review. It's okay. It's not great. It is not the worst in the series by any means, but it's not great. More on that later. Oh yeah, so this one, Severin Films, Night of the Demon. I had only even heard of this recently on the Sea of Tranquility channel. We got Chris Allo on there, famous heavy metal journalist. He also is a huge horror guy. So Sea of Tranquility, as you know, or if you don't know, it's not Chris Allo's channel, but he's a frequent guest on there, and he contributes a lot. And he brought this movie up, and as soon as he talked about it, I had to find a copy. He's talking about how much he loves it. It's an awesome movie. It is I'm pretty sure he said it was a Bigfoot movie, which is weird. Yeah, it is a Bigfoot movie, which is weird. I don't know a whole lot about it. Night of the Demon is a weird name for a Bigfoot movie. The cover, is this made to look like Bigfoot has a hatchet? I guess why would Bigfoot not be able to use a hatchet, right? I guess that makes total sense. But yeah, really stoked to watch this. This is this originally from 1983. It's an American movie, I think. So yeah, super stoked to watch that. And last but not least, for the movies, one that I've been aware of, never have seen, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Obviously, that's part of the Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street series. This is one of the kind of middle era to later, I guess you could say. I've always liked Nightmare on Elm Street, but I've never been a big expert. Anyways, always thought this one looked pretty cool. This is kind of Wes Craven kind of trying to put a fresh coat of paint on Freddy and the series. So yeah, I've always really wanted to check this one out. So that's all for the movies. Got a couple toys, a couple things I found at Walmart randomly. I got this Funko. I think Funko made this. Shit, maybe they didn't. It looks like something Funko would have made. Anyway, I got this They Live set here. The aliens from They Live. The movie poster kind of done in a Funko art style. Thought this was pretty cool. Got it on, I got it dirt cheap compared to what they wanted for it originally. So Walmart has been selling like, like higher end toys and stuff like that lately, which is funny because Target used to do it, and at least the Target in my area, they did a remodel and they actually got rid of all their like high end collector toys. Right after they did that, Walmart brought them in. So I think Walmart literally, I'm sure all those big box stores follow each other and kind of, pick and choose trends and stuff. So Walmart now sells higher end collector toys, as to where Target doesn't anymore. They weren't selling very well, at least at our Target. In bigger cities, they probably did. I also grabbed this 8-inch figure of the Mole People. Mole People is an old horror movie. You might know, you might not. I wasn't super familiar with this toy series. It is called Mego Corporation. Of a guy named Marty Abrams founded it. Yeah. I've probably seen these in the past and just never thought much of it. But I grabbed that one, and I grabbed this one. This is the one I really wanted, of course. Absolutely had to have this Toxic Avenger. I always wanted a Toxic Avenger action figure, even back when I was a little kid, when they made the Toxic Avenger action figures for the cartoon. Yes, they made a Toxic Avenger cartoon. Only in the early 90s would they when they tried to bring Toxic Avenger to children. What a wild time that was. So at least I didn't have one as a child, but now I have one, and I'm almost 40. Got a couple shirts. These, I got these all at Walmart too, oddly enough. Got this Halloween shirt. It's very purple, but I like purple from time to time. These were all like $6-7. Got 3 of them, I think. Got this Ghostface shirt. Boys liked Scream a lot, and the kind of renewed interest in the franchise that everyone seems to have. I've been kind of following that trend as well. My interest in the franchise has been rejuvenated. I also got this Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. Very cool. Dream Warriors, number 3. Remember that Dokken song? Dream Warriors. Great song. Not a huge Dokken fan. I do like them, though. Alright, a couple comics. This one I've never heard of. Apparently this is a comic label and a record label. Probably fairly new because I've never heard of it, and I'm obviously quite into metal. This is called Heavy Metal Drummer. Just by looking at that cover, the presentation, the artwork, and the kind of thick, I don't know what you'd call this, the cover's a little thicker than a normal comic book. Just really nicely done. I was like, dude, buying that. I barely looked at the inside. It doesn't even say which issue. I don't know if this is a one-off, but it doesn't say, like comics usually will say which issue it is. It doesn't say that, at least on the outside. So on the inside it has an advertisement for the record label and a band with an album that they released, which really cool artwork. I don't know. I can't tell what band it is. Not a band I'm familiar with. Printed in Canada, so I don't know if this is a Canadian label. I've done no research, obviously. Zero research. But the artwork in here is really cool. It's kind of different artwork on different pages. I don't know if it's a number of different artists or if it's one artist that just... I think it's the same artist, actually. It's cool. It's cool, man. You would read that. So, check out Heavy Metal Drummer. Check out Behemoth Records, I guess. Got one of the recent issues of Hellboy, number 4 of the Silver Lantern Club. Have not read that yet. I don't even know if I have the first 3. With Hellboy stuff, it does sell fast. So if you find it in stores, unless you're right on the ball, you're not usually going to be able to find the issues as they come out. So sometimes in my Hellboy collection, I'll end up with like issue 3 and 5 and 7. I'll just have to slowly piece the series together. So it's always been that way with Hellboy for me. Here's another one that I'm not familiar with. It's a new comic, though, so Scout Comics, not familiar with Scout Comics, but issue 1 of Cult of Icarus. I did read this. It's really cool. It has this like kind of thicker, almost like a waxy cover. It's very nice. Very nice. Vampire story. Yeah, I read this whole thing already. An entire comic. It was really good. I'm hoping to follow this hoping to follow this series. Nice artwork, kind of reminds me of Sam Keith. Very Sam Keith-esque. Storyline is basically this girl, she's probably in her early 20s. She was separated from her parents at birth. She basically like, grew up in an orphanage. So she's now in her early 20s, and she's trying to find her parents. Very early on in this issue, right, like within the first couple pages, I think she finds that she learns that they passed away years ago. That's why she was in the orphanage, and she's suddenly kind of hunted down by this mysterious vampire cult. That's all I know so far, but it's really engaging, and I'm stoked to see where they go with that. So, anyways, guys, that's all I have to show you. Hopefully this wasn't too boring for you metal fans, if you hung in there with me. Anyways, I gotta go. Louis says hello, and we will talk soon. Cheers, guys.